Hey everyone, I'm Amina and welcome back to my channel. Amina Inspired. And so I'm inspired to be here despite the silences. And I want to say thank you everyone for sticking around since January when I posted my last video. But you know, I have to post when I have something that I've worked through and I know that it works for me. And so I'm going to share it with you now. And it is about getting kids off the cell phones, okay? So let me start off with the good news. My kids have been off their phones for 6 weeks. No screaming, no blackmailing, no bribing, okay? And I want you to know that this was possible because of some extreme measures, and it involves us as parents or caregivers. So here goes. Firstly, when I realized my kids were being raised by the phones, I was devastated, but at the same time, I felt like, what can I do? This is just life, blah, blah, blah. I was in that mode, right? And then it struck me that I should give it a chance myself. So I love YouTube. Like, I always YouTube a whole bunch of stuff. I will like brush my teeth, but before I brush my teeth, I find a clip that's 2 minutes long so I can brush for 2 minutes. I was addicted to my phone. Honestly, I was. And so I went off YouTube for a whole week, which was a shock to my system, okay? And in that time, I just observed my family. I never made any judgments. I never told them, well, mommy's off the phones, I'm bored and none of those stuff. I just observed them, okay? And yes, it was very quiet because usually I have my phone when I'm making a cup of tea or whatever. Nothing. I didn't even Google things, okay? I went for a whole week just trying to use my brain. Anyway, after that week, I had a lot of empathy for separating from anyone from their phones, including little ones, okay? So my kids are under 10, I've got 2 of them, and I decided to do this thing. I decided I'm not going to pry the phones from their hands. I instead went and I bought dominoes and a pack of cards. And I just left it around in the lounge while they were on their phones. And I started playing with the dominoes and just like whatever, playing with the cards. And then my kids came to me and they asked me what I was doing. And I told them, oh, you want to play? And, you know, I still didn't take their phones off them. And then the next day came along, I took out the coloring books and I started to color. Okay, so you can kind of get where I'm going with this. If you've got older kids, you're going to have to do different things, right? But the most important thing here was that I made myself available, okay? And my husband, I never told him to get off his phone. Like, he was still on his phone. And I was totally chilled with that because when you make a decision to change something about yourself, and this is so important to EQ, don't expect everybody else to do the same. I mean, that's really emotionally unintelligent. So you allow people to work through things on their own pace, right, at their own pace. So my husband saw all this snickery here with me and the kids, and almost naturally, like the way leaves fall off a bloody tree, they stopped looking for their phones. And my kids aren't special in that they weren't really on their phones, so it was easy. My son is 4. He used to wake up saying phone, phone, and he doesn't even talk a lot because he's got some other language issues. But that word he knew, right? And he'd be for hours on his phone. And just so you know, the greater context, my husband and I were in the habit of charging phones the night before, making sure we have an extra device for them, tablet, even my phone. So we had it like most parents do, okay? But when I availed myself, and not just like mommy watching you play, getting on the floor and playing with them. Yes, it was tiring at first, but it was also fun. I actually liked them, you know? And then I did this amazing thing. I always imagined myself as a grandmother painting in my garden with my grandkids and a little dog for some reason. And instead, I was painting with my actual kids in my little garden. And when I told my daughter that, she said to me, well, Mommy, you're doing it. And I realized, God damn it, yes, I am doing it. I didn't have to wait until I was a lot older for me to decide to do something that I didn't want to do. I always loved painting, the thought of painting, but it always seemed like I'm too busy and it's just like a lot of clutter and, you know, mess and all that stuff. But I did it, okay? And till this day, for 6 weeks later, we have a new home, okay? I have to tell you, the landscape of our home has changed. We've got painting stuff everywhere. Dominoes, we play dominoes quite a lot. They know that I am constantly available for them, okay? And one mom asked me this very good question. She said, well, when do you work? And the answer is, I work when they are at school. So I get up very early also, but it's the fast now, so I don't really work as efficiently as I did before. But in the mornings before the fast, I would wake up and I would just work from 4 o'clock till 6:30, and then I start getting them ready for school. Another thing that I didn't realize would happen, so the landscape of our home changed. My husband got on board. He started to do fun stuff with us, and he noticed that the kids were reading. Oh gosh, I almost forgot to tell you. I'm a linguist, and I'm sorry to have to say this, but I didn't even care that my kids weren't reading actual books because they were on their phones. I'm busy, I'm a busy mom, blah, 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 blah. But then my sister started coming to my house with books, so she loves books, and library books. She took books out for my son, for my daughter, and they actually liked it, and they started calling her Auntie Books, okay? So anyway, I decided to do this amazing thing. I think 3 weeks, a month into this no phones thing, I went with my sister and we took the kids to the library. Okay, now this might not be news or anything amazing for other mothers out there, but for me this was huge. I took out books, and then my son decided that this is book time. You know, book time. And at night he would lift the pillows up and we'd sit and we'd read the books. Okay, and this is the beauty of what happened when the phones went off. Firstly, for 6 weeks now, their phones are still in the back of my cupboard. They haven't asked for it. They don't want it. They do want me a lot. My husband was so amazing. He realized that besides no phones, why don't we introduce our kids to the childhood like series and movies that we liked, man, you know? And so now we've got Darkwing Duck playing DuckTales, what else? Naruto, Pokemon. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because you might be saying, oh, Amna, but that's screen time. But it's a very different kind of screen time, because my son would, and I'll turn to the side here, oopsie, I'll turn to the side for you to see. He'd be like this. It's so bad for the eyesight, and I know at least 1 or 2 kids that had to have operations on their eyes because of phones. Okay. Also, it changes the bone makeup, okay, of your hands, little kids, because they're still growing, right? And so even though they still had screen time, it was quite a distance away, and because it's things that we used to watch when we were kids, we found ourselves sitting there enjoying the series with them. Okay, especially Darkwing Duck, because I think I had a crush on Darkwing Duck. Anyway, that's besides the point. And Liewe Heksie, you know, if you're not an English or Afrikaans first language speaker, it is difficult to get your kids into it. And so now my daughter, who's 7, is now watching Liewe Heksie. So anyway, to cut a long story short, kids don't want phones. They want us. They want the same attention we give our phones, they want us to give it to them. So it's not enough if I just come home and put the dominoes around, they weren't going to be interested. But if I'm with them, or their father's with them, it makes all the difference. And another thing, if you want to know, how to do this in your own home, find the thing that you also would like to do, always wanted to do, but you said you didn't have time. So for me, it was cooking. Like I would always say, I can't cook because I'm so busy. So now we have tin fish Tuesday, tin fish curry, spaghetti and sausage, whatever, tomato curry thing on a Monday, and my daughter requests chicken and chips, and because we have so much time, they actually help me make the food, okay? And so what I'm trying to impress upon you is that there is a solution. Unfortunately, it involves us fasting from our phones, firstly, and secondly, leading by example, and thirdly, being involved in our children's life. And if you think about it, however old you are, it was like a blink of an eye, right? And then I'm 39 in a blink of an eye. So in a blink of an eye, my children are going to be 17 and 18 or whatever. And I don't want to say that I don't remember. I don't have any stories to tell. I don't have any things that we actually did together, you know? And so this is my hope. My hope is that you are going to make this video go viral, okay? Because I really believe in this topic. I've seen that it works and I want it to work for you, okay? So please share widely. Share with anybody who wants to find a solution which is not scolding and blackmailing and bribing the children to get off the phones. And put it in the comment section as well, which series or movies from your childhood are kid-friendly. And so we can share that as well here. And any other tips you may have to get them off their phones. And I know it's ironic because I'm on your phone right now. But if you are going to take this fast from your phone and your platform like mine was YouTube, then I want to say goodbye. Enjoy the time where you get to know yourself. Don't judge others in that whole week that you have more time. And be creative. Just be creative with your kids. We are never going to get them back again. Once they're old, they're old. So I'm sending you lots of love. And yeah, if this is your vibe, subscribe. And if you care, share. Much love always.